Hi, I'm Hunter Joslin, your host for the class of 2024 East Coast Surfing Hall of Fame induction ceremony. 2024 is the 15th class recognizing the most distinguished East Coast surfers who have made significant historical contributions to the sport of surfing. This year, we are inducting 11 surfers in the categories of men, women, culture, industry, media, legends, the Cecil Lear President's Award. Here are the inductees for the 2024 East Coast Surfing Hall of Fame. The Cecil Lear President's Award. Roy Turner of Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia? No, he's from Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina. Roy Turner is a 45-year veteran of the action sports industry and is currently the show VP and director of Surf Expo. Turner began attending Surf Expo in the 70s and started working within the show in 2007. Turner rode his first wave at the age of 9 in Topsail Beach, North Carolina, has been hooked ever since. A graduate of UNC at Wilmington, he worked his way through school at local surf shops and skate parks before opening his own surf shop, Surf City, in Wrightsville Beach in 1982. Along with his longtime partner and friend, Mark Allison. Surf City quickly became a part of the local community, bringing skate and surf pros to Wrightsville, exposing the area to world-class talent. In the early 80s, along with friends from the Record Bar, Turner helped to manage a series of ASP top-rated events in Wrightsville Beach. The events were blessed with great surf, allowing East Coast surfers to showcase their talent, competing against the best in the world. This helped largely put Wrightsville Beach on the map as a top East Coast surf town. In 2003, Turner saw the business of surf rapidly expanding and leaving core shops without a consolidated voice. Along with the support from Mike Duncan and Surf Expo, Turner brought together key board sports retailers from around the country, who shared the vision that independent owners were not competitors, but partners who needed a way to make their voices heard. Today, the Board Retailers Association is in its 20th year, helping independent board sport retailers have a consolidated voice and to be heard in the industry. Surf Expo is a strong supporter of the East Coast Surfing Hall of Fame and the East Coast Surfboard Shape-Off, traditions that have been an integral part of the show. Turner is a passionate advocate for the board sports industry and is committed to helping it grow and thrive. He currently serves on the advisory boards of SEMA and BRA and is a frequent attendee, volunteer, and speaker at industry events. He enjoys the waterman lifestyle, skating, fishing, surfing, and paddling with friends and family. Baron Knowlton, Lake Worth, Florida. Abandoned at a young age when his mother passed and his alcoholic father left him with relatives, the Lake Worth, Florida local surfers took Baron Knowlton under their rough and tumble wings. They spotted his surfing talent early on, taking him to the famed barreling big waves of Puerto Escondido at only 15 years old. Knowlton did not disappoint. He charged the biggest set waves with style, poise, and big balls. His first sponsor was Swack Surf Shop, which was a great boost for him to get up the coast and be seduced into the Spectrum Surfboards team. That was a wild and crazy time for Baron as he developed into a solid competitor. Scott McReynolds came to his rescue, introducing him to Pete Dooley, who immediately swept him into the natural art fold. As his shredding developed, Knowlton became known for his big wave exploits, but his small wave shredding prompted him to take his talents to the ASP East Pro Tour. He did well enough against the East Coast best to save some cash, which provided him the funds to travel to Hawaii to prove himself on the North Shore. Baron developed a no-fear relationship with the intense waves at rock piles. On days that nobody else would surf the break, Knowlton was there owning it. In one article on Hawaii, A magazine interviewer asked Kelly Slater, "Who's surfing well this year in Hawaii?" Kelly responded, "Barron, Knowlton is charging." At Maui's famous Honolulu Bay, Knowlton's action photo sequences, taken by East Coast Surfing Hall of Fame photographer Kevin Welsh, were published in Surfer magazine, giving Knowlton tremendous global exposure. Barron was a secret weapon on the East Coast X Games team that beat California 4 years in a row. Today, Barron Knowlton is head lifeguard at Lake Worth Pier and the best storyteller I've ever traveled with. David Spiers, Melbourne Beach, Florida. Spiers' father was an avid surfer who was stoked to teach his son the sport of kings. Cocoa Beach was their home, and David grew up surfing at the same time and places as Kelly Slater. In this small town, Spiers, the Slaters, Reinecke, and their friends competed against each other often, in free surfs, helping to push the envelope for everyone in the group. These soul sessions helped them make the most of organized contests in the quest for waves, prizes, trophies, chicks, and sponsors. As Spiers' surfing matured, he followed in the footsteps of tabling Veluzzi, Keck, Kuhn, and Rudolph, regularly making the trek 30 miles south to Sebastian Inlet, where his reputation and respect was well earned as he worked his way up the pecking order of the crowd at First Peak. First Peak was always in the lens of photographers, and David caught their attention. Dave's aggressive surfing awarded him a stellar amateur contest record and progressed into a career with several pro contest victories during a career that lasted all the way into his late 40s. For decades, he has been and continues to be one of the most inspirational presences at Sebastian Inlet. Today, Spiers is dominating the over 50s division for the Brevard board riders. His stoke, as strong as ever, never missing a good swell and ripping like a frothing grom. Noah Snyder, Nags Head, North Carolina. Noah is widely recognized as the first professional surfer from the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Snyder began surfing as a youngster, and almost immediately surf industry sponsors picked him up. Billabong was his first main sponsor, but he remained loyal to his relationship with Bob Hurley, and by his 21st birthday, Snyder was competing professionally with Hurley as his primary sponsor. His record adds up to winning more pro events than anyone from the Outer Banks region. As a journeyman pro on the QS circuit, Snyder traveled and surfed all over the world. He appeared in numerous surf magazines, surfing many of the world's most challenging waves. His amazing surfing prowess earned him appearances in numerous videos, including Straight from Mars, Walking on Water, The Outsiders, and the Surf NRG series. The highlight of his surfing career led to the story of his life being featured in one of the most inspiring surf films of all time, Noah's Ark. After 17 years working with Hurley, Snyder decided to focus his energy on his passion for being fit. He established Momentum Fitness as an elite personal training business in Nags Head. As a certified boot camp and group fitness instructor, Noah has hosted surf camps and boot camps for over 20 years. He is dedicated to sharing his stoke for surfing and fitness with every generation. Along Noah's life journey, he took up yet another of his passions by following in the footsteps of his father, iconic local artist Rob Snyder, whose sea life murals are infamous on the Outer Banks. Noah entered the art world as a third-generation artist. Surrounded by sand and sea, his style and frame of reference are truly unique. His connection with the natural world via his international surfing experiences can be felt in each and every piece of his artwork. Noah was inducted into the North Carolina Surfing Hall of Fame in 2022. Felina Spiers, Ormond Beach, Florida. Felina Spiers grew up in Ormond Beach, Florida and started surfing at 16 at her home break, Grenada. Spiers attended Sea Breeze High School, where she was an active member of the school surf team, which she remembers winning every contest they offered. She re-established her home break to Flagler Pier because it was uncrowded, and four-time women's world champion Frida Zamba surfed there. The two became friends, and Zamba hooked her up with Hope Surfboards as her first sponsor. Felina credits Frida's radical innovations in women's surfing as being her role model and motivator in pursuing her own legacy. Felina represented the USA in 2 ISA events. Coached by East Coast Surfing Hall of Fame members Bruce Walker and Kevin Grondin, in 1992, her 5th place in the women's division contributed enough points for Team USA to take home the World Team title. Spiers made her pro surfing debut at Sebastian Inlet in 1994, where she placed second to her mentor, Frida Zamba. She was soon sponsored by WRV Surfboards from Virginia Beach and established a strong working relationship with East Coast Surfing Hall of Fame member Jesse Fernandez. Spiers competed on the WQS circuit, taking her worldwide as a professional for over 10 years with consistently high placings and wins in several events. She was featured in prominent surf magazine articles with vivid action photos of her ripping. Today, Spiers lives on Australia's Gold Coast and surfs every day. She stands out as one of the East Coast's finest female competitors and one of the best East Coast women surfers during her era. Mark Newstatter, Margate, New Jersey. Mark loved surfing from 10 years old and began competing in the ESA in the boys division. He was a longtime member of the Reef Surf Shop surf team in Margate, where he eventually got his first job in the surf industry. He placed second in the juniors division 2 years in a row at the ESA championships. Then the U.S. championships were held in Huntington Beach in '72 and '73, where he took 3rd place. His eager competitive drive got him sponsored with Challenger East surfboards, which afforded him the opportunity to meet Jim Jenks, the founder of OP, and Bill Yerkes, who owned Sundeck. These introductions proved to be integral in pointing him towards his future career. After graduating college in Orange County, California, he was introduced to the Rip Curl founders by Surfing Magazine's Bob Mignona, which proved to be life-changing. Newstatter helped establish Rip Curl USA, where he managed sales, marketing, and advertising, working with team riders and future world champs Tom Carroll, Rabbit Bartholomew, and Tom Curran. In the mid-'80s, he started his own repping agency, representing Jimmy Z's, Rip Curl, Rainbow Sandals, Sanook Sandals, Rusty Surfboards and Apparel, Surf Deck Surfboards, Electric Eyewear, and Cobian Sandals in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Delaware. Newstatter is a dedicated waterman and today lives and surfs year-round in his hometown of Margate, New Jersey. Newstatter is a dedicated waterman and today lives and surfs year-round in his hometown of Margate, New Jersey. He was inducted into the New Jersey Surfing Hall of Fame in 2017. Tom Warrick, Boynton Beach, Florida. Tom Warrick was 8 years old in 1956 when he began mat surfing after his family moved to Boynton Beach, Florida. Warrick is a lifelong surfer, but more than anything, he's an organizer. His life's devotion is to surfing, the sport, and the lifestyle. Never short of new projects, Tom has found time for impacting the lives of thousands of East Coast surfers. From contest organizer to 40 years as an ESA district director, to executive director of the Palm Beach County Surfing History Project, to his time in the development of the first Florida Surfrider Foundation chapter. Warrick's influence on East Coast surfing runs deep. Here are just a few of his contributions. 1966, Tom founded Boynton Beach's first surfing organization, the Cripple Creek Surf Club. 1967, Warrick started writing about surfing as a columnist for the Delray Beach News Journal, the Boynton Beach Star, and the Palm Beach Post. Through his writings, he has shared the feeling, the history, and the culture of surfing to the outside world. From 1967 until right now, Tom has been an integral part of the ESA. He was recruited by East Coast Surfing Hall of Fame member David Reese, starting out as a judge and event announcer for Palm Beach County Surfing Association. This naturally transitioned to full commitment to the ESA, where he joined the ESA Board of Directors in 1974 and continues in that position to this very day. 1984 to 2001, he spent 18 years working for the Sunclass brand Costa Del Mar as marketing manager, company spokesman, and vice president of sales. In 1996, Warrick initiated development of the first Surfrider Foundation chapter in Florida, a chapter that is still in existence today. This early development led to a coastal-wide Surfrider Foundation engagement with the East Coast surfing community. Today, Florida has 12 Surfrider chapters, more than any state except California. Since 2009, Warrick has been executive director of the Palm Beach County Surfing History Project, which manages the Surfing Florida Museum's collection and exhibits. Warrick is committed to preserving the history, culture, memorabilia, and future of East Coast surfing, mainly focusing on the state of Florida. Daryl Jones, Miami, Florida. Daryl grew up in Miami and Melbourne Beach, Florida. Daryl was an avid surfer who picked up a camera and never looked back. He became an exclusive staff photographer for Surfer magazine starting in the late 70s. Daryl Jones followed in the footsteps of future East Coast Surfing Hall of Fame members Larry Pope and Bruce Walker. His critically acclaimed work provided the next generation of East Coast surfers exposure on the international stage through his photos that appeared on the glossy Surfer magazine pages. Jones' exceptional work for Surfer covered many years documenting Florida's rising stars at local breaks, as well as throughout the Caribbean and Hawaii's North Shore. When he arrived in Hawaii, he became well known for shooting high-quality images of the world's best surfers. Traveling and photographing the world's elite-level surfers became his passion, and his photography became among the sport's finest, gracing numerous Surfer magazine covers and interior pages. His travels took him to every well-known surf country on the globe, as well as adventuring to newly found surf locations. I was fortunate to be with him. We went to the Galapagos Islands, a first. During his run, it was a well-known fact that Jones was considered to be the best surfer out of all the world's prominent surf photographers. No surprise that he knew exactly when to press the shutter. Jones' incredible photography today graces such notable publications as Islands, Outside, and many other national and international magazines. Ricky Carroll, Satellite Beach, Florida. Ricky Carroll is one hardworking and fun-loving individual. His mild-mannered disposition hides the fact that he's a consummate competitor. Over the years, he has won several national surfing titles in multiple divisions that include shortboard, longboard, paddle racing, kneeboard, and windsurfing. But his passion lies in manufacturing high-quality surfboards. During his time as a pro surfer, Carroll was shaping and building surfboards for natural art until he got smart enough to start his own label, Ricky Carroll Surfboards, at his now famous factory in Rockledge, Florida. Today, he continues to manufacture his name brand surfboards, as well as producing under license for Donald Takayama Surfboards, Local Motion Surfboards, Surfboards Hawaii, and Black Rose Surfboards. Ricky quite firmly established himself at the top of the international surfboard manufacturing community after winning the Icons of Foam Tribute to the Masters Shape-Off at the Sacred Craft Surf Show in San Diego in 2007, 2008, and 2012. He also won the Chunk of Foam Shaping Challenge at the Boardroom Show during Surf Expo in 2013. Carroll is now the host and head judge of the Florida Shape-Off held annually at the January Surf Expo. Finally, Carroll believes in giving back to the sport that has given him so much. Through the years, he has supported numerous organizations and charity events with funding, time, and sponsorships, including the ESA Surfrider Foundation, local schools, and a myriad of other events. Ken McNair, New Smyrna Beach, Florida. Ken began surfing in the early 60s and quickly proceeded to become a standout junior member of the legendary Surfboards Hawaii team that transformed into the Hobie Surf Team. This talented group of Central Florida surfers traveled and summarily dominated the whole East Coast. He won numerous junior division titles, including the Florida State Championship in 1968, the ECSE in 1969, as well as the Atlantic States Championship the same year. Ken McNair was looked up to everyone for his radical, cutting-edge surfing. McNair was also an ace paddler, winning every event he entered, making him the #1 rated ESA paddler. And he went on to represent the ESA at the 1972 ISA World Contest in San Diego. During those years, McNair's exceptional surfing talent attracted prominent surfboard companies to sponsor him, including Design One, Weber, Dino, and David Nueva surfboards. From 1971 to 75, McNair owned and operated MCG Sun and Surf Shop in New Smyrna Beach, as well as building MCG surfboards. He worked deeper into the production surfboard industry as an airbrusher and glasser at CB Surfboards in New Smyrna Beach, contributing his incredible hand craftsmanship in the manufacture of thousands of surfboards. Today, McNair is a musician, professional artist, and award-winning photographer, while maintaining his inexhaustible stoke surfing New Smyrna Inlet every day possible. He is still shredding like the young Grom. He is a prolific social media content creator, posting his outstanding artwork, photos, and shark stories on a daily basis. Bill Holmes, Jupiter, Florida. A Del Mar, California native, Holmesy began surfing in 1957 on an 8.6 Velzy. He quickly developed a burning desire to build surfboards, which he learned to do working at the Hobie factory in Capistrano Beach, California. The Hobie factory opened in 1962 with future legends Phil Edwards, Mike Diffenderfer, the Patterson brothers, Joey Severson, Mike Hinson, Corky Carroll, and Holmesy. This period of the surfboard industry was one of incredible innovation in both design and the manufacturing process itself. And Holmesy was right there, soaking it all up like a sponge. Holmesy met John Schmid, who lived in Palm Beach, Florida, while surfing Del Mar in the summer of '64. The two hit it off, and John convinced Holmesy that he should come to South Florida and start manufacturing surfboards in Juno Beach. At the time, there were only 2 builders of custom surfboards in the state of Florida. Holmesy's knowledge was state-of-the-art, and he set about training a crew of locals to produce some of the highest quality surfboards on the East Coast. Holmesy designed and developed a radical new design, the Sidewinder, that he advertised as the ultimate nose-riding model. This unique design is Holmesy's legacy, and rightly so, as he was the only one who could correctly shape the Sidewinder with slots in the rail just forward of the fin, which funneled water over the convex tail, creating lift in the nose of the board, holding it in perfect nose-riding position in the pocket of a wave. Hell yeah, you could roast hot dogs while you're up there. The classic Sidewinder is one of the most sought-after boards by collectors. As a visionary, Holmesy built a very successful business. Holmesy surfboards were known and sold from Florida to Maine and Puerto Rico. His extensive surf team, led by South Florida legend Kim Nielsen, were always a threat at every event. Holmesy returned to California in '71 and eventually turned his talent toward the custom boat building industry. Now, he is back in South Florida, working on super yachts as one of the finest woodworkers available. Holmesy is simply a great human being.